Says upcoming on my channel. Let's just double check this. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, so we are live. Good. Okay, now I just need the chat open so I can see what the hell I am doing. Whoops. Let's see. Where did my thing go? There it is. Alright. So hello and good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be working on more Redhill stuff. So yeah, it's going to be... This is part of episode 2, which won't be released until... Well, episode 1 is at least released. Again, like I said before, episode 1 is in the process of getting made. It's just a matter of my editor finding time and stuff like that. We're pretty damn close to the end. Like, we're pretty damn close to getting it put together. I think if I remember correct, we're basically in act 3 or so of the first episode. And I believe there's the... Let's see, then there's that. I think there's like 3 or 4 acts specifically. I think I would count as mainly 3, but that's mainly where we're at. We're about in Act 3. But today we're just going to be working on the next page for episode 2. It kind of feels nice to talk to you guys sometimes, and I know that I've been quiet recently, but there's really not much to talk about regarding this. So, yeah, I'm going into this completely without a plan as well. I just have the final page as reference. I have a somewhat idea of what's going to happen on this page. But, yeah. Basically, episode 2 is much, much more darker. Like, it's a much, much different kind of vibe than episode 1 will be. Like, episode 1 is basically introduction, getting to know the characters, who our cast is going to be, blah, 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 blah. This one gets to the more serious side of things. Like, it addresses the clear things that are part of the story. Okay, I actually need to go back to the last page, so I'm just going to go to my Google Drive for that. Let's see. Not there. Here. Okay, what was the last line on the page? Now that's interesting. That's interesting. So I think I'm going to have basically a close-up of the mouth, like talking, because this is kind of more of a discussion kind of part. Don't want to... Like, I would see... Because... This is always the trickiest part. It's just trying to figure out where we're going. So I'm going to get the frame divider so that I can get this going. So we'd want something probably, I'd say, around that size for the top of the page. And, oh, this is going to be so tricky. Because there's multiple ways you can interpret something in a panel, and that's the trickiest part about making manga, is really that. Manga, comics, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just trying to figure out how to put this into, being. And that's the trickiest part. I would say... Sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure this out. And it takes a little bit of brain power to figure this out. Let's see. Who would even be saying this line? I would think it'd be Ashley. Ashley's the much more outgoing type and much more like, I guess you could say, sentimental kind of type. So I don't see Star saying this. But I think I know what I want, particularly for this part. So what I need to do is I go something like that. Just kind of split that. Make another folder. And name that panel 1. Okie doke. Now, this is always the trickiest part though, so I'm not too entirely, because my brain has this thing with art where if I can't see what I'm drawing, and you have to turn these off, if I can't see what I'm drawing, then my brain immediately just goes, it shuts off. Hello, Brennan Road. Okay. So this would be either Ashley or, what's her face talking? What the heck? Oh, I'm on the wrong brush. Let's get that to the right size. Do I speak Spanish? No. Did I turn the fades off? I did. Okay. Okay. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to go something like along the lines of this, even though side angle is not my best thing. Okay, get a straight line tool, rename the head. And we go to about the center point, somewhere about right there. And this is basically to indicate where the top of the nose is, so we can properly do this, even though sometimes there's days where I just cannot do this, and yeah. Like, there's days when I can do it flawlessly, and then there's days where just no. Okay, so this would be your face. Alright, now this is where we go freehand. And this is where it's going to be tricky. It's always getting that nose to chin ratio. That's the trickiest part. And my hand is kind of being a dick, so... Oh. Hang on. Hang on a second. Must not be that important. Alright. So that's the nose. That'd be about the mouth area. And that's about the chin. Because what I tend to do is I either make the face area a little too long, or I make it not big enough. And that's always the trickiest part, is which side angle is just getting this part correct. Okay, now I just gotta get the chin connection, which really is when you add the ear where it's really most accurate. Something like that. Yeah, I can already tell. I can already tell. And like I said, this is going to be just the rough version. The, like, a the like official version comes later when we actually do all the refix stuff and all the cleaning up basically, and that's when I finish it. Okay. Hang on, guys. What? I've got it. Alright. That's just gotta listen for the video. Oh my god. The door. But FedEx usually don't deliver here until around like 12-ish, I think. Okay. As of now, it looks okay, but I can't really tell. Because it's only when you like erase the lines and stuff that it really comes together. And again, the lines don't need to be perfect. Face. Okay, now we need a neck. And this is the part where I always have a rough time. Usually it's right here where the chin connects, but or the chin, excuse me, the thing below the chin, the neck. Sorry guys, I can't do anatomy this morning apparently. It's hard to tell with all the guidelines. But I do know later on if I fucked up because, yeah, it becomes very apparent. That and also just the neck size. Like the width of the neck is really important to get correct because yeah, very, very difficult sometimes. Okay, that don't look too bad for now. Alright. I gotta remember, this is Ashley. So she got a big chest. She's a big girl. Yes, I do name my layers because I do not want to get confused. I know a lot of artists don't name their layers, but personally, I'm one who does. Okay, this is the tricky one. I haven't done side angle for a minute, so it's gonna be a little rough around the edges. But basically what that's supposed to be is your collarbone. Then it would go straight down because she's big chested. Okay, maybe not that much. Nope. Is it lining up with the chin? Yes, it is. Welcome to the struggle that is artwork, guys. Welcome to the struggle. And it is a struggle. Something like that might work. Kind of. The majority of all this area is going to be covered anyways because her hair is going to be a huge, huge cover. Fury. I don't know if you meant to say furry, but if you start calling me a furry, I don't really give a shit. Okay. Shoulder, normal. This is always a tricky angle to pull off because... Ugh. Oh. Oh, okay, I didn't do it wrong. So that would just be something I name something like body. Also, hello, Mutt from Missouri. That's a name. Holy moly. Okay, the arms usually line up about right here or so. Not that it really matters. And that would go back and connect to the back of the shoulder. Yep, perfect. Maybe a little too high. Just bring that down a little bit. Okie doke. I can already tell that the head looks a little too big. So the only way that we can fix that is to start adding some details. Yeah, I think I know what's happening. Okay. So we can definitely turn that off. We don't need that anymore. I think the next step is honestly just to start adding details. Okay, for that I need references because I know Ashley is has a very specific eye shape. She has got, oh yeah, she's got the slanted eyes because she's supposed to be represented as cute. Actually, I'm just gonna make that part of the body. Okay, let's see. Okay, now comes the fun part. So side eyes. She's got like that kind of a shape to her eye. Looks a little too long. Yeah, I've definitely got way too long. This eye shape is always tricky as shit to get correct. But like I said, it don't necessarily have to be perfect, just has to be something to determine. Okay. So she'd just be looking forward, like so. But I have been experimenting with how to, like, make actual anime eyes look nice. And I probably will imply that into the next episode. Oh, wait, it is the next episode. Duh. So, technically, I shouldn't add any. Well, okay, episode 3 is where I should add it because I've already got ones with the same eye structure. So, episode 3. Basically, something like that. And kind of something like that, I think. Eyes aren't necessarily the easiest thing. Okay, what kind of eyebrows eyebrows? Eyelashes eyelashes does she have? Okay, so she has a single point. Like so. Yep, just like that. The problem I'm seeing is that her eye is not like, and I think I know why. Because her eye needs to be kind of slightly slanted. Just a smidge. Okay. Now she needs. So there's her eyeball. Okay. Now what I need to do also is give her, I guess. Do I do mouth next? No. Let's do this. Okay, considering she's kind of troubled in the last one, we want to give her eyelashes that are kind of like, or eyebrows that are kind of shaped like this. Yep. Just attach that to the eye. Okay. Alright. Now the part that's really going to determine if we've got the head correct or not, which is the mouth. Okay, so her mouth would be open. Kind of, nope, that's happy. We don't want her happy, we just kind of want the mouth open. I can already tell. Yep. I've got her nose and shit way too far out. Something like that, yeah. Something along those lines. Okay, I can already tell there's a lot of things that are off. But this is just something that happens as you go along. And that's why I like digital art, because you can just kind of move. Yes. Because you can just kind of move things around if there's a problem or if it looks off or blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay, that don't look too bad by any means. Okay. Let's give her some teeth. Which in this case, fangs. Because she is a demon. Then a tongue. Then we need to erase that. That's part of the head. No, it's not. It's part of the face. Okay. Not too bad. But that guideline right there is kind of misleading me a little bit. So we'll see here once I erase that. Okay. Head. Too tall. Way too tall. It actually doesn't look too bad. I think the eye needs to just come forward a little more. So let's kind of, whoa. I think it needs to be, oh god. It needs to be probably about somewhere right there. Okay, let's give her an ear. This is where things are going to get tedious for me, personally. Mouth. Right, ear. Be a shape like that. I think that's a little too small. Way too small. Just kind of giving myself something to follow. So the ear, in terms of a demon ear, is a little lower behind the eyeball rather than a human's. Something like that. Okay, and then the internal details. Something like that. It's not that big. Okay. Like I said, we don't really need to get this perfect. We just have to get it close. Because this is not only the rough version, it's also just very minor details that are going to be covered mostly by her hair, so we aren't going to worry about this too much. But I do need to get it somewhat accurate. Oops. Something like that, yeah. Okay. Still doesn't look like Ashley though, which is weird. I think that's just because her eye's not slanted enough, but let's see if I can maybe... That might work enough. Okay. Not worried about that connection because her hair's going to cover it. Okay. Okay, I have not drawn her from the side angle in a while, so this will be interesting. Okay, well, let's find the forehead line first, which is about right here. There's a reason why I do this. It's just so I don't draw the hair too high off the top of her eyeballs. Okay, actually, it's just usually not that difficult. There we go. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Okay. So... new layer. Okay, so her hair comes down over her eye a lot. So we want to go something like... kind of like that. And then the second strand, which defines the outside of her head, would be something... yeah, like that. And now comes the tricky part. So that would connect to the first point of the head, which is like your middle point. Usually I save that until it matters. I'd like to get the main part of the head done first. Just like to give myself somewhat of an idea. Okay, then it's triangle, triangle, strands. Just gonna pull enough. You ever want to learn how to draw anime hair? Yep, just a bunch of triangles. It's a good starting point, is what I should say. Like, triangles are a very, very, very prominent thing in anime hair. For damn sure. Curved triangles. Okay, that's where the horn would be, right above her ear. Okay, then we got the strands. So we have the front strand, which would be the smallest. Comes down like that. Just not that messy. The trickiest thing about hair, honestly, is just getting those strands nice and even. But that's what the cleanup sketch process is for. AKA line art. Nobody likes to do it, but it's gotta be done if you want clean lines. Something along those lines. That might work. But yeah, if you're wanting to get into learning how to do like anime hairstyle or just hair in general, Just a lot of pointy triangles. No shit, that's literally it. Long, pointy, curved triangles. It's a great place to start, is what it. It's a great place to start because it teaches you, you know, just like how to do hair in a somewhat manner. You should worry about like doing like the more difficult stuff later on. Because some hairstyles are way harder than others. Okay, that come up, connect. And then we would just have a regular hair strand that connects to about right here. Let's get that a little bit more accurate. It's just right now with that in there, that's driving me crazy. Okay, where did I put the neck? Right there. Okay. Now the part that kind of sucks, which is connecting everything. Just gonna put that. Oh, garbage man's on his way. It is garbage day, so I'm probably gonna have to go pull the garbage in pretty quick. It's okay, it takes like 5 seconds. That's hard to tell. That's very hard to tell. I can already tell that yeah. Be something along the lines of this. Just not that like dented, I guess you could say. Like I said a gazillion times, it's all about trial and error. That's drawing in a nutshell. Whoops. Oops. Takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of just perseverance. Okay, I can already tell that something's off. That doesn't look too bad, but again, there's a lot of lines that are on that can kind of throw you off if you're not careful. Okay. So I think what needs to happen, let me take a look. Yep, because that needs to come over the nose, like right here. So if I just go something like that, go something like that, shouldn't create any issues. Hopefully. Okay, maybe right here. Okay, see what we're gonna have to do here. Back that up just a little bit, go out a little bit more like that. Whoa. So like I said before, getting these even is a pain in the butt, especially when I can't see what the hell I'm drawing. Okay. Go back to the ear for just a sec. Get rid of this so it looks like it's popping out of her ear rather than being slightly transparent. Okay, that's not too bad. Good. Not too bad at all. Looks a little too high. It's kind of hard to tell right now. Yeah, it looks a little too high off the top of the head. But then again, maybe when we add her horn in, it might work. That and of course her clothing, because we need clothes. Okay, that'd be right above the ear. Right, so horns next. Okay. So the horns grow about right there-ish. So maybe something like that might work. Just kind of add some stuff in here to kind of give it some realism. No. Whoa, okay, we're not drawing flames. It's more of a flame structure. Oh, for the love of God. There we go. Okay. Now we go back to the main hair, get rid of this. So it looks like it's connected. What I'm going to do actually is go something like this and connect this a little better. I see the problem. Yep, that's definitely an issue. Could add another strand, but that's kind of inconsistent, no, isn't it? Okay, let's try this again. Just kind of widen it. Like I said, that's such a small detail that it's not really going to matter. Nobody's paying attention to that. The majority of people are just paying attention to the main story. Okay, I don't like how it's like directly connected. So let's go something maybe like that. It looks like something. Okay, one detail that Ashley does have, though, that the others don't. Well, besides Rose, Rose has it, is this. She has lipstick. Well, they're not, it's not necessarily lipstick, it's more so just defined lips. Whoa, a little too big there. Considering it's in black and white, we aren't really worried about getting a specific color. Okay, then down to 40%. Okay, not bad for Ashley. Until this doesn't connect correctly though, so we're going to go back to number 11. And just connect this a little better. Oh, I know I can fix this. All I have to do is just go something like, oh, just a little further. Like I said, it's not a huge deal. It's not a big deal at all. Oop, I forgot the hair on the other side. My bad. Luckily, that's not too bad. So the hair would come down kind of like that. No, it'd come out more further. My bad. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, look. More like that. Yep. It's just some angles. Okay, that wouldn't go through the mouth. Well, maybe it might. Nope, it wouldn't. Okay. Any other specific details on Ashley that I need to worry about? I don't think so. Oh, close. Whoops. Nearly forgot that, but luckily there's not really much to add. Okay, that's... From this angle, it's a little tricky. Okay, seriously? Fine? Can we not? Considering she's got a lot of weight pulling down, that collar would definitely be a little bit more stretched out. Probably something more like that. Back up a little bit. Something more like that. Sure. Let's go with it. Then we just add this, like something like a curve like that. Where's the arm? It's part of the body. Get rid of the arm. Okay, I can already tell that's way too high up. So let's see if we can maybe just that down a little bit more. Like I said, without any clarification of what's going on back here, it kind of throws my brain off a little bit. But yeah, it should be fine. Like I said, I can always go back and fix it later if it's a problem. And I do think it is a problem right now. I think it needs to just come back a little bit more. Like maybe about right there. Okay, think of how fucking shirts work, dipstick. Connect to about the bottom of the shoulder area. I don't think that's right either, but that's okay. We can fix it. It's just a matter of... And the fact that Ashley is big-chested is also throwing me off a little bit because, well, That's just kind of how it goes with me. It's just a thing with my brain for some reason. Let's bring this out just a little bit more. I don't think the collarbone connection area is correct either. And this is usually what tends to happen. Like I said, never claimed to. Like I said before in past streams, I never claimed to be a professional. I'm just a guy making stuff for you guys. And I'm just doing my best to make it as best as I possibly can. Okay, let's back this up just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. That looks much more correct to that part of the body on a female. Okay. I think I see the issue, and I don't think it should be an issue, but for some reason it is. Or it could just be my brain overreacting, being a butt like it usually is. Oh, she has one of those thingamajiggies off at the top of her head, doesn't she? Okay, that's her hair, I think. Yep. Well, that's actually pretty easy from the single, because I don't need to add the details. One of those things. Yeah, I think it's just my brain being my brain, as usual. Plus, the chin is also down, so that's probably throwing my head off a little bit. Like when your mouth opens, your jaw drops, and it usually makes the head look a little bit more bigger. So that's probably what's throwing my brain off a little bit. Okay, I do think that this panel, for the most part, is done. Okay, let's name these before I forget. That's her horn. No, I said this. There, stupid thing. And this is her clothing. Okay. The next thing is the text layers and stuff. Okay, let me just double check everything. What am I playing off of here? Whoa, 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 whoa. Probably gonna have to be about that size. Might have to See, I would assume that you... What happens if I were to drop this? Okay, that don't look too bad for a minute. Okay, I think we got our first panel basically done. Oh, hey, Ended, I'm sorry, I didn't see you because I was looking at a reference. Because we assumed that you didn't care, Rosie. Okay, so there's panel 1. The fuck? Oh, did it not? Oh my god, you didn't register, you dipstick. It's okay. There wasn't much. Luckily, that's not too hard to alter. Okay. Just trying to think of what goes in this next panel. Oh, there goes my tablet onto the ground. Whoops. As I start. Sorry, guys. My bad. Sorry about that. Sorry. Excuse me. And this is a part I have to take with care because this is a very important part of the story. So it's best I take my time and don't rush it. So to nail this star, I could do like just a close up with like the chin area. Just don't want to repeat too many motifs. Sorry about that, guys. Actually, I probably don't even need to do that. Even though this does sometimes turn into a bitch. It would have to be something like that, yeah. Just not that shitty. Okay, I've got it too straight. But her mouth will be open, so the chin would be a little bit more longer. Or the face, excuse me, not the chin. Just trying to make it as clean as I possibly can. Okay, so we wouldn't need to worry about a neck because the neck is like right back there somewhere. The one thing we do need to worry about with Star here is her emblem thing on her cheek. Okay, that'd be her face. mouth. It'd be more subtle, like very, very subtle. I don't know about that, Jack, but just a smidge longer. Okay, let's add our teeth and see what happens. Oh God. Oh Lord. Yeah, that's way too far down. Yeah, it's pretty close. Okay, I can already tell that. Yeah, we've got way too long of a mouth open. Even though your mouth can open that far, it doesn't look right. So let's backtrack that to about maybe right here. Okay, but now the problem lies is that the mouth's too small. I could do basically this, but kind of makes the lines a little sloppy, does it not? Let's go back to the face for a sec. What happens if I were to do something like... Just kind of do something like that back up a little bit. The chin is always a pain in the ass. Something about this just doesn't look right. Again, I don't think it needs to be open that wide. But then again, maybe when I start adding some details and stuff, it'll be fine. Now it's looking a little better. Okay. Alright, Star's little emblem would go on her cheek, basically. Okay, so how does the side angle of her face work? Okay, well we have the long strand. Okay, I gotta imagine. So how far does that strand go? It goes across her eye and kind of above her cheek. On the right, yeah. Whoops. Something like that might actually work. Just start the line between because there's two strands there. Because I gotta remember the physics of the mouth. She's talking, so the mouth is open, so the chin would be down further. I think by now I would have figured that out, but nope. No, guys. No. She does have the strand that kind of comes down, but I think that's more back towards where her ear is. Yeah, I want to say so. Then we have the emblem thing right here on her cheek. Let me see a side angle shot. Okay, you'd see a little bit of the hair going back. Star's hairstyle is not difficult at all. It's actually really easy. For anybody wondering, yes, these are my own OCs. These are not third parties. All my own characters. Comes down. I don't know. It's hard to tell from this angle. Let's go with something like that. Okay, then on the opposite side, we have those strands that come down. Okay, there's the one that goes out all by itself, and then the others just kind of lay out by themselves, or go down her shoulder on the opposite side. Something like that might actually work well enough. Doesn't look like it adds up very good, but let me try those again. It's always getting like the large scale stuff down that just, it's always the challenge for me. I don't know why, but it is. Hmm. That might work. That might work well enough. Because you can't see like anything up here. Looks off by just a little bit, but I don't think that's really the important part. As long as it just gets the message across, I think we're okay. And again, I think it's just because her mouth is open and the face is longer than usual that it's throwing my brain off a little bit. God damn it. The emblem is actually a problem because I don't know if that's going to crash the stream or not. I use a brush for it because I can't draw stars to save my ass. And it's a locked brush. That's the problem. And let's just try it, I guess. So we're going to go through a few little ads here, but not really much I can help with there. Okay, cool. No, I don't want to play the game. No thanks.
I had to replace her clothes because now we have a new closet. There's no sense dressing like a peasant. This is my leisure time where you're stepping into a warm little world where everything's relaxing. You can literally build your dream house from scratch, decorate every corner, and make it feel like your own. But it's not just the house.
I don't know what kind of ad this is, guys.
You can change your outfit every day.
Ad.
Plus, you can adopt cats and dogs, and they're really cute. Tap the screen below to download and play right now.
Cool. No thanks.
This feral cat of a champion turns invisibility into invincibility. And the wildest part, for a limited time, you can get them for free.
How is this
by
game
turning
even
invisible,
still relevant?
blasting every enemy at once. In airy situations, the Cheshire Cat will automatically pop a block damage buff. Who needs 9 lives when you're that good? Use them in arena to wipe out.
No, dude, I don't want to play Raid Shadow Legends, which is a game that's dried up at this point. Alright, so now that we have our brushes unlocked, now we can go get the right one. Where is it? It's one of those special brushes. There it is. Okay. How big are you? You need to be way bigger than that. Much bigger than that. Whoa, what the heck? Oh, I forgot to put it on the right track. My bad. Let me take a look at the size ratio. Whoops. Okay, it's actually about right there, I'd say. Okay, now what I gotta do is go something like that, so I can erase this properly. And there we go. Alright, so there's star. Okay, now we gotta have the text. Whoops. what's the word I'm looking what's the words I'm looking for here? That's a great question. Can I please go back to full screen? Thank you. You never showed any signs of resentment? Okay. I gotta pull garbage in. So, I'll be right back. Give me about 5 seconds, guys. Okay. Alright, never showed any signs of like I want to say the right word is resentment. Let me do a quick Google search. Not a search, but a clarification. Just to make sure I'm using the right words. Resentment. Complex, long, combining anger, bitterness, disappointment, often stemming from feeling unfairly treated, disregarded, or wronged. It does fit. So I think resentment works here. Of resent. Any signs of resentment or disgust. He never showed any signs of resentment or disgust. And always seemed unfazed by what our fathers ordered us to do. Okay, let's see if I can maybe sort this a little better. Never showed any signs of resentment. Showed any signs of resentment or disgust. Let's try 3-point line. And always seemed unfazed by what our fathers ordered us to do. Oops. Keep never showed any signs of resentment or disgust, and always seemed unfazed by what our fathers ordered us to do. So, Ash and I just enjoyed what. So Ash and I just thought you enjoyed it and kept our thoughts to ourselves. We never thought it was actually this bad. Okay. Maybe that might work. That's a little too crowded, so boink, boink, boink. Hopefully that's readable. I mean, it's not at the full-fledged size, so it's kind of hard to tell right now. Never showed any signs of resentment or disgust, and always seemed unfazed by what our father's orders to do. So Ash and I just thought you enjoyed it and kept our thoughts to ourselves. We never thought it was actually this bad. Then maybe have like a cut to Rose's mouth or something. Okay, there's panel 2. Okay, next one. Need to get off this brush. Okay, actually what I need first is I need another frame. maybe have like one where her mouth is kind of quivering, one where her eyes are kind of starting to leak tears because now she realizes that she's not alone and kind of give them the wrong idea. Something like that. Kind of makes sense. Because this is supposed to be kind of an emotional part where she's kind of breaking down in front of her friends. Let's see. So it'd be like a quivering, kind of like that. These are the hardest ones to draw because they are very particular. It's kind of okay if it's not perfect because they don't really need to be perfect. Oh, for the love of God. Gotta get that centered. About right there, yep. Do I want her talking? Just a little bit. Okay. Whoa. Oh, the fangs. They're not the worst thing in the world, but they are still annoying. Mainly just because they have to line up correctly. And evenly. I think the best thing to do would be to go something like down the middle. Okay, now with the eraser tool. How do I always manage to do that? About the center point, about right there. Okay. So I can do this accurately. Okay, let's not go up like a dipstick. Oh my god. Why do I keep doing that? That might work. Step a little further. Okay, combine those. Get rid of this. Okay, now the only other detail that I need for Rose, which is her lipstick. With the quivering lip, it's really difficult to get sometimes. No, 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 no. Just try something like that. It's more like a fucking mustache. Yeah, it looks more like a mustache. But a lot of like details there, it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe if I add the bottom part. Okay, that's off a little bit. Like I said, this is the rough, so it doesn't really need to be perfect. It just needs to be somewhat good. It's kind of really misleading. Just trying to figure this out, guys. So just be patient. It looks misleading as hell because of how the lip is curled. Oh, fuck. I need to go to a certain panel. That would have been episode 1. Let's see, that's the one. Where's the one? So that's an extra color to it as well. Because that's basically the color it's going to be. Okay, maybe with that added, that actually added a little bit more probability of what it actually should look like. Now with that added, it actually looks a lot more better. But I do think it still needs to come to the right just a little bit more. That right there. Okay. That's basically all we need. Now what does she say here? So probably another gasp. Okay. What the heck? How did that happen? Okay, that needs to be a little bit bigger. Go something like that. Go something like that's really how you saw me. I looked so heartless, heartless and cold. Bring that down just a little bit more. Oh. I'll use a different text here. Yeah, that text. But I think I am going to switch up the text here. Okay, different font. I've got an idea. So heartless and cold like him. Okay. Panel 4. Oh, shit. Just trying to decide how I want to go about this. Stop, take a drink of coffee real quick. Let's see. Hang on a second, guys. Right back. Okay, thank goodness. Okay. I have like a couple ideas. Oh, for fuck's sake, I'll be right back. guys, this shouldn't take that long. Oh, you ignorant shitbag. Okay, guys. Alright, so I gotta figure out how I'm gonna go about this one. Because I have two ideas. I have either the idea of it like cutting to her eye as like a pause, like maybe eyes with like slight tearing in them because of what's happening in the scene, or I don't know, maybe delay that for when her friends say, you know, something like, it was enough to fool us, or something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking. It's a tight squeeze, too. Okay. Oops, no, 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 no. I need this first. Because I need to make a frame. It's like something down here. It's going to take up the majority of the space, so we can just do something like that. Then go frame divider. Do something like this. No, not directly centered. Something like that, and then maybe cut to her eye, like shedding a tear or something. Actually, no, I've got a better idea. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. So for one scene, we have like maybe a gripped fist, and one with her eyes like tearing up because of what's happening in this scene. Ah, shit. Okay, to do that, what I'm gonna have to do actually is I'm gonna have to pause the stream because, well, I do not safe for work stuff too. So I'm gonna have to pause the stream so I can go get a reference, and I'll be right back, guys. Okie doke, we're back. I just had to go get a reference, or not a reference, but a copy paste basically. Because if I can save time, I'm going to save time. Okay, so for that, paste. Because I did have a reference of a fist. Or not a reference, but a drawing. And I don't want to... And if I can cut down time, I'm going to cut down time. Okay. Oh, wrong place. That needs to be on panel 4, and that needs to go right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So that would be like a clenching kind of sound.
Did you get it?
I don't know. What happens if I do something like this? Much better. That way it like meets the framing of the panel as well. So something like that. And then we go to panel 5. And eyeball. I've never done crying eyes though. That's the thing. I've never done like a crying eye. So this should be interesting. I've got to think of how this actually works. Wouldn't I have like a curve going over the eyelid as well? I would think so. It's been a minute since I've even attempted something like this. Okay, Rose's eye shape is real easy. It's like this, basically the lemon wedge shape. Okay. Looks almost a little too small. So we could just do something like this. Then we could have her looking, I guess, down. Because looking down kind of signifies depression or something like that. I don't know. Oh, you're back on. Go away, please. Something along those lines. eyes are just very precarious because you've got to get them even, otherwise they look off. Okay. Try something more like that. Okay. And she is distraught because she never wanted to be her father. So this would with her mind. To be eyelashes first. Whoops. Okay, then she has the 3. But hang on, I might want to do something here, because I think it's always getting this. That's the pain. Yes. No, that doesn't look right. So like a half-lidded eye. Now let me see if this might work. Like put like the eyelid going over the eyeball a little bit. Or eyelid, whatever this thing is called down here. Maybe a little less than that. This is honestly just a test. Can always hit undo if it's a problem, so. Let's back that up. Back that up. Now, what happens if I were to add something like that? I don't know. Just like the expression would definitely sell it a lot more, but we don't really want to do that here, so. Where's the eyeball? Then put that line there to signify that her eyelids are going down. And I think here we'd have her these things, eyelashes, can't think of what they're called for some reason, would be kind of down like this. Let me be absolutely sure of that. The perspective is always the trickiest part. Nope. Alright, let's see if this might work. Okay. This looks off. But luckily that's not too hard of a fix, by any means. Do something like that. Except, now that don't add up. Let's kind of straighten this out just a little bit. Tricky shit. It's always drawing the eyelashes at this angle that gets me every flippin' time. Oh, for God's sakes. Okay. And then tears would be basically translucent, kind of. Translucent? Is that the right word? Also, adding something like this to the corner indicates, I guess, pressure or stress or something like that. Just figure out how this goes. This way? No. Then the teardrop, which honestly is hard to do because you need color as a filter. And I know how to fix that. Let's go something like that. So I can see what the hell I'm doing. Is there anything else? No. Okay, so for tears, we just basically want a white or something like that. That's why I had to do it this way. Is it towards the back or is it towards the front? I think it's towards the back. That's the more accurate way to draw tears. I don't really draw crying characters that much, so yeah, it's definitely not something I'm used to. I mean, I guess it all depends on like angle and all that stuff. Tear streams should be about yeah, something of that kind of caliber. the fuck? Okay, not sure why it's doing that, but let's see if this might work. Yeah, tears are definitely not my forte. Unless it's just a streak. Like, putting them in the eye sockets and stuff is really something I don't do that often. So yeah, it's definitely... Why are you doing this? You're really gonna make me do it. Alright, yeah. That's closed off. Is this just because of this? Okay. What I thought. We'll go safe with the 30% or so. Hmm, 20%. And now when I turn the lights back on, it won't register anything. But that's okay. That would be the tears. Okay. Alright, now the fun part, adding the colors. So we're going to turn the text layers off. Okay, I know that Ashley has darker skin than the usual girl. Whoops. She's got more dark, she's more dark skinned. We're not going crazy with the colors, we're just adding base colors. Slightly darker underneath the chin, because it is technically darker. Okay, the inside of the ear. The inside of the mouth, a little bit more brighter than that. Pretty close. Okay, her hair, that's the tricky part. Oops, still too dark. And no, this is not the final piece. This is just a rough. Okay. Her horns are a little bit more darker. Yep, about that color. Okay, her shirt, about the same as the hair, but just a little brighter. If I can even get that. Okay, then the color. Eyes. Oh god, what color are her eyes? I think they're blue. Yep, if I remember correct, Ashley's eyes are blue. So we would have a very light color shade for this part of the eye. Then the inside would be slightly darker. Something like that. smidget right there. Okay, not bad. Oh, see a little spot I missed though. Yeah, Ashley's color palette is way more trickier than say, roses or stars. Way more tricky. Okay, the backgrounds, yeah, I'll work on those separately. Okay. Star and what's her face? Star and Ashley, or excuse me, Rose. Star and Ashley, fuck me. Star and Rose, my bad. Star and Rose share the same color palette. Okay, turn that off. The reason why I'm doing this is just because it really does help to just kind of have the base colors already, rather than having to go and look up references after reference after reference. Especially considering the other kind of art that I do. Yeah, I don't want to get flagged. That'd be the same color as this. Okay, skin. A little lighter than Ashley's color. Okay, that's about the same. Say about right there. Why does it not look any different? There we go. That's more her color. Okay, the tongue needs to be just a smidge darker. Oh. Definitely working with grayscale is much easier than if you were working with multicolor. So yeah, definitely does help. Okay, same color as Ashley. Or Star, excuse me. Fuck me. What am I doing? Let's just do this. Okay, that one's colored. Panel 4. Pretty much the same exact thing. Background, I'm not sure yet. Okay, next one. Rose's eyes are green, so it'd be slightly like a darker kind of gray. Then the inside of her eye would just be kind of something like that. I don't know. Oh, right, because of the tears. Now we can adjust the tears to where we need them to be. Okay. Can also go, whoa, easy there, bucko. Something like that. Something like that, and maybe something like that. Okay, not bad. Okay. Now, we just add additions and stuff. Okay, let's not add that immediately. Okay, considering the background is just dark, I just imagine we're just going to go with a dark background for the first two, like of the same color. that dark. Okay. They just kind of have a Vignay effect around it. Let's see. What is the best way to go about this? Probably the airbrush. So I need to be on top of everything. Minus the text. Let's drop that. Airbrush. And this is where we just got to be a little bit careful. Kind of something like that. And just erase the excess. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Just looking to see if there's any other excess that I missed. From what I can see, there isn't any. But if you're making like comics and have to do this kind of stuff, bucket tool, eraser, yeah, this thing has saved me a ton of time. Okay. Then this one would be kind of like probably an asset kind of effect. Okay. Guess I could put that behind the fist. Let's just see. That'd probably be an emotion thing. Shock, sadness, what we're going for here. And I feel like shock fits much better. So maybe something like this. But then we just gotta move it into place. I think I like that better. Okay, just kind of move this up. Oops. Yeah, something along those lines. Move this into frame a little bit better. That's it. Okay, now all I have to do is just clean up down here. And I do not consider using assets cheating. If it's there, I'm using it. Okay, but the text does seem like it blends a little too much. We're gonna have to go around with that a little bit, but it's okay. I could probably actually just go something like that and be fine. Yeah, now you can definitely read it. a little better. This is probably going to be a very kind of similar idea to the mouth panel. Like I said, shading and all that stuff is going to come later when it matters. Okay. Let's see. No. Wait, what am I doing? We'd want something... I do not consider this cheating. Yeah, if anybody's got a problem with it, I don't care. Yeah, I might have to just go with the Vignay effect. I could, technically. What does this one look like? It's kind of like a confusion kind of look. But that's more like a shock, like a realization or something like that. For this one, I would need something just dark. Because she's basically just depressed. Realizing, you know, who she made herself out to be. Okay. What I'm going to have to do is just basically what I did before. Except let's get that a little bit more better. Yeah, it's a little too much. A little bigger than that. Just gotta kind of do a layering kind of thing so it looks a little bit more like regular, like it's like, you know, actually framed in a Vignay. Grade the excess. Up here, yes. Sure, there's a much less tedious way to do that, but I'm new to this stuff, so I don't really mind putting in a little extra work. It don't bother me. One thing that is bothering me is it's just a little too, I guess sharp is the word. So let's just blur this out just a little bit. Looks a little better, I guess. Yeah, it'll work out. Alright. Now let's add the text back. Let's see how these add up. that's already on. And I didn't have any for this one. I kind of, yeah, I like that tier over it more. Much better. Okay. Seeing a problem with the texts up here. And I think I know what's going on. SF4. I think there's a little bit of residue in here still. So I think what I gotta do is I gotta make it pop just a little bit more. And I think I know how to do that. No, not there, not there. Two. Let's try the opposite way around. Black text with white stroke. Okay. That definitely looks better. It's just a little too strong on the borders. Again, it's kind of hard to tell right now, but it does look a little better. You can see that just fine. You can see that just fine. I think I can be happy with that. For now. For now. But I do think I'm going to add something specific. Just to kind of give these a little bit more, I don't know, dramaticism. What one am I on? I'm on 1. Correct. Just kind of give them a little back shadow. Just to kind of sell that they're in a darker environment. It's kind of a shading effect, I know, but it does give the panel a little bit more life, and I like it better that way, even as a base. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Whoops. Whoa, 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 no. God. Yeah, see how much more realism that gives that? It makes it a little bit more better. I could even add that to the one down here where it's clenching the fist. Just to kind of give it a little bit more of a pop. Okay, I'm noticing something with panel 1s. Excuse me. And this is hard to kind of get right with the airbrush. Is the distribution down in the lower corner? just run that down again. What the fuck? Whoa. That's kind of disorienting my eyes. Looks a little better. It's a little too strong, not gonna lie. Something like that probably works well enough. Okay. 1, 2, 3, that's 4. Let's see if we add just a something. Let's turn down the intensity, because I don't want this one to be as intense. Oh. Yeah, I like that better. Yeah, I think we've got a page. How long did that take? Only 2.5 hours. That's not that bad. Definitely could have been way worse. I think there's one more thing I want to add to 1, 2. That's panel 3. And that is, I want to go something like that. Just to kind of give it a little bit more of a, I don't know, like this is like, what's the word I'm looking for? A very, like, what's the word? Impactful kind of thing. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, let's see. Maybe the first time I've done this. Okay, I've just got to get this correct. And just kind of turn it down if it's a little too intense. Let's get rid of the excess. Nah, I've got a better idea. What the hell? Go away. Yeah, that's a lot better. I like that much better. I think that's a page, guys. I think that's a page. Double check that there's no bleed. Which what I mean by bleed is that it's going outside of the lines, or outside the panels. I've had a few instances of something like that before. Oh, I know one more thing I can add to the final panel. And this is just for a more, I guess, realistic look. Whoa, what the fuck? Just give her eyes a little shine. Okay. I think she's pretty good to go. I'd say that was actually really decent and didn't take much time. So, yep, guys, I'm sorry it's taking so long to get episode 1 out, but that's just how things go, and it's a big thing. So my friend that's working on putting it together, he's got work, he's got stuff to do, so yeah, it's been a lot more work than we thought it would be, but it's coming, I promise. It's going to be a thing. It's just a matter of time. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this, because yeah, it wasn't actually that bad. Besides a few things, I just sometimes struggle, but apparently today was a really good day. And we saved a lot of time because of the fist in panel 4, so yeah. Anyways, guys, just stay patient, that's all I can say, and yep, hopefully you all have a great day and night or wherever you are, and yep, I'll see y'all later. Happy horrors until next time, and make sure to take care, and I promise, stuff is coming soon, hopefully. Bye-bye!